What? Sorry, you cut out. I missed it. When you're mean to me, the internet cuts.
Don't be mean to me, I'll come. Don't bully me, I'll come. Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast with Jake Williamson and Sam Leicht, where we talk about all things gay, sport, and culture. If you're listening on YouTube, click subscribe, maybe comment, let us know what you think about the podcast. And if you're not listening on YouTube, then subscribe, comment, give us a review. Come on.
Give us
Season
a review.
2 now. If you've
5
not reviewed
stars.
it by now and you're still listening, then
How dare you? You're
then
being
just
lazy.
stop. Like, leave it. Yeah, leave. Just go. We don't want you. We don't want you in our lives.
Jake, how's it going? How's your week?
I'm actually really sick, so I'm putting on a really
Oh,
brave
no.
face right now. I just woke up after the weekend and was like, damn, I'm feeling rough. And I compete on Saturday, so it's Wednesday today. So I feel like this is going to give me good vibes, good energy, and then I'm just going to be like, I'm fine.
You have another competition? Didn't you have one last weekend?
Dude, I have one this weekend and next weekend. This is double, so this one's fine.
So tell me about how last week went.
I don't even want to talk about it. It was fucking terrible. My body hates me. Like, I was even in the gym today and I was doing like some loading work on the stations. And it's just like a biomechanical thing. So I've got an appointment with sports doctor. I've had scans with him before and like nothing's come up, but I'm just like, I'm so sick of it now because I know it's not a fitness thing, which is really pissing me off.
Totally.
Obviously, when I do the doubles, it's still that you need fitness to be able to do that. But the load is half. I'm really snappy and I can really utilize my fitness. So we need to get down to the nitty gritty essentially of like, why is the loading really, really impacting it? Especially like when I go into these higher pressure situations, because obviously I'm more tense and more stiff essentially, mentally and physically. If anyone else is out there and they're struggling with back problems and you've solved them, let me know.
Is that it? You know, like when you're in those singles, your back blows up? That's
It's
the thing?
like back, glutes. It's like it's weird. It's hard to explain because it's not like a certain point where I'm like, oh, this is really sore. I know exactly what this is. Like, it kind of changes throughout that whole area. It could be a conditioning thing. I'd like to think not, because I'm pretty strong. My
That
core's
seems
pretty
crazy.
good. Like, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't. It can't really be. But I don't know how you solve it. Like, I've done everything. I've done like 6 months of like one-to-one Pilates type work, and that didn't fix it. I've had a denervation, which is basically you go in and burn the nerve away so that you can't get the pain receptors to your body. That was
Oh my
3 years
God.
ago. Yeah, like I've tried everything. I'm at a point where I'm like, ugh, do I just like not do the solos anymore and just do the doubles? So
Can you pinpoint the events that trigger it?
not always, no.
That seems
Like
crazy because the events have
yeah,
such different stimulus.
yeah, I know. But I think it's just like when that intensity goes up and you're not then just like running or lifting. But it's so strange because you'd think like even if the load was less, you're still doing the movement. So you'd think that it would flare up in the doubles as well, but it just doesn't.
You know what's interesting? In CrossFit, they always say not to program something like a deadlift and a burpee together, because for a deadlift,
Yeah.
we're trying to get like maximal compression of your core, trying to like Valsalvic breathe and really like stabilize your spine. And then if we tell you to do a burpee after that, we're asking you to come directly out of that kind of like stable position. And it does feel like you do that all the time in HYROX, where you have this like stable position that
Like
you were like
compress from
pushing
the
in or
push,
pulling
and
in.
then you run, and then
you're
yeah.
running. You're like opening back up. Your spine is having to kind of like be nimble again. I can imagine that as just being like a huge strain on your CNS.
Well, I haven't got any solos races now till World Championships, so I'm in the clear,
Okay.
which is fun. So
Yeah.
I don't need to think about that or worry about it or let it impact my brain. So
Yeah, exactly.
We're good.
Well, I just finished the Open, and what a whirlwind. What a whirlwind for me.
It was pretty. I mean, I was about to say it was pretty easy. It was pretty like basic, wasn't it? There wasn't many
It's very
movements.
basic.
So again, for anyone who's listening that doesn't know what the CrossFit Open is, you have a 3-week, one workout a week across 3 weeks, and then you get ranked. So Sam and I actually did it as well. I did do the last workout, but I did it on Monday, and I was so ill, and all I wanted to do was get a point on the board. And I looked today, and I'm in the 75th percentile. So I'm in.
Good.
I made it to the quarterfinals, I believe. Anyway, I haven't had an email yet, but
I like the quarterfinal workouts a lot more.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do most of them because they'll add in this. a bit more skill-based stuff. So I'm
Yeah, they
hoping that it's
definitely
like
do.
row, double unders, and running or something like that.
I mean, the big criticism of the Open this year was that a lot of the workouts had a similar stimulus. And the whole point of the competition is that it's supposed to be a well-rounded test of people's fitness. So they'll do like an aerobic piece that's like, a 15 to 20-minute workout that has like a lot of rowing and wall balls. And then they'll do a max effort lift, like let's see how heavy someone could deadlift or how heavy could someone clean and jerk or something like that. And then there might be like a sprint workout in there. This year, it was just a
It was
lot of
all
like
kind of the same.
12
Yeah.
to 15-minute workouts. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Under for time. Yeah.
But I finished the last one and I was like on the floor, of course, like tired, but like not dead. And I remember just being like, yeah, that felt good. I'm happy with that. And then I upload my
Mm.
score and I see what it was, and I was like, holy fuck, I really fucked that up. That was bad.
What my favorite thing about the Open was like the Friday Night Lights type thing, like where people are in the
Yeah.
gym, whether they're doing like, so basically you can scale the workout. So you can do RX, which is like the main one that they do, and then you can scale it, and it basically makes it easier so that anyone can do it. And when you have a Friday Night Lights, it's basically anyone and everyone from the gym signs up and they come in and do the workout all together. And it's just a nice celebration of like people's hard work over a 6 month, a 1 year, a 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year journey of fitness. But I really do, like, I think about it all the time. And I was like, I really think anyone who's getting into fitness, and I've said this before, I really think like CrossFit as a modality of training is just perfect for
Yeah,
anyone, like
I
movement
agree.
based, because you're going to move well. You're going to get better range of motion. You're going to move in good planes and get
A
squat
coach who's
depth
there
and
to
whatever
watch your
else.
technique,
Yeah. And
the
then you're also
community.
going to lift weights, which means so many different health benefits. And you'll also look fucking sick.
Yeah,
Um, and then also you're going to do some form of cardiovascular as well, which I think you should probably do a little bit more on the side. But
yeah,
yeah, if anyone's listening and they're thinking, oh, I don't really know how to start my fitness journey, just go to a CrossFit box, go to their classes, and they literally will do everything for you. But
yeah.
you do need to make sure that you really buy in, if that makes sense. Like really
Mm,
go with the intention of learning rather than just going with the intention of like, oh, that's the program today, I'm just going to do that. Whereas if you almost like learn the movements and learn what this is and what this does and how I'm going to get better at this, like it's such like even I'm still learning, and it's such a
yeah.
minefield of like how you can make your body and your mind just at one. And I just think it's perfect.
I think that CrossFit has longevity because there are skills that you're not going to be able to do the first time that you walk into the box. It's actually a good thing. And I know that a lot of people, especially when we're adults, we see a challenge in front of us that we can't do, and we automatically think that it means that the entire thing isn't for us. But if we look at something like a berries class, you're going to be able to do every single thing in that berries class the first time that you walk in there. And yeah, you're going to feel great about that. And you're going to leave feeling like you had a great workout. And then you're going to take 20, 30 more of those berries classes. And at some point, you're going to stop seeing results from it. And at some point, you're going to get bored. And that's the thing about something like CrossFit. It's a good thing that there are skills that you can't do because it means that if you have a growth mindset, if you want to continually get better, it's going to keep you motivated. There's a reason why I'm still doing it 15 years later.
Yeah.
It's a perfect modality. My best place in the open from doing it maybe 8 years now, it has been like the 96th percentile, right? And I got 94th percentile this year, and I am nowhere near as fit as I've been in the past. And it just kind of goes to show like I've been having to sit at my desk a lot more lately. I've been working out a lot less just because of what is going on in my life at the moment. And even then, you're still able to kind of maintain fitness much easier than it is to create fitness. So it's a very valuable reminder to me saying it doesn't need to be perfect right now. And you can still participate in the events. Your fitness is not going to go to shit just because you're in a busy time of life or because, you had a baby or you're really busy with work. It's easier to maintain fitness than it is to create fitness. So that's very motivating to me.
Yeah. Get creating and then maintain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's go. Also, we had a very nice message into the podcast from Winston, who basically said that all of his long runs were just like out of bounds podcast. So we just want to say thank you for your message, Winston. We do see all your messages. So if it has helped you or you enjoy the podcast, like we love hearing your stories. The reason why me and Sam have done this is because we want to bring an element of joy. We want to hopefully help people and have somewhere where they're just relating to two sporty gay guys, essentially. And then also just to connect a little bit more with the audience. So we really want you to message and tell us stories and give us things that we can discuss on the podcast as well.
Yeah, the last sentence I really liked. He said, I'm running the New York City Marathon in November and decided to fundraise for an organization called You Can Play, which is all about focusing on LGBTQ inclusivity in sports on all levels of play. This theme came around a lot during my half marathon training, including your guys' podcast. I just wanted to let you know that this podcast has been a part of the reason why I'm fundraising for this. It's really cool.
Very nice.
You messaged me this week about Louis Theroux's Inside the Manosphere.
Mate, this is crazy. Like, I don't know if it'll have, like, these guys, well, I guess Andrew Tate, you must know Andrew Tate.
Yeah, of course.
There's a few
Role
guys
model.
like almost like underneath them. And they come under this realm of like the manosphere. And it's basically just like toxic masculinity personified and multiplied. These people they're essentially online scammers as well. So they'll get this like cult following. They'll be like so hyper masculine, like with all these OnlyFans girls and showing off their Lamborghinis and being like, this is how I got to this level in life. Sign up to my Forex trading and you can be a millionaire too. And like, but like,
wait, is it like these scammers willingly doing a documentary about themselves?
Yeah, they're so stupid. They'll do anything for clicks or likes. It's mind-blowing.
There's a shamelessness that is truly wild.
I feel like I'm not explaining the documentary very well, but Louis Theroux is one of the best documentary makers on the planet. And he basically, he goes in and he is like silent essentially and just lets them speak and just lets them discuss. So he'll prompt and then he'll almost just be quiet and then they'll just carry on talking. And then obviously the clear levels of homophobia. One of the guys on there says, if my son was gay, I would disown him. And this guy's mixed race and he's like, yeah, I am racist, homophobic, and he just goes, yeah, I am all of those things. And then backtracks and says that he isn't and whatever else. It's quite scary that anyone can have a platform to say anything. And what scares me the most is how much traction these people get. Obviously, they get a lot of traction from people who hate them and are disgusted by what they do and they react and comment and engage. But then there's also like a huge element of people that like young kids and even like grown adults who are like worshipping these guys and being like, you're such a role model to me. And you're just there like, what is going on?
It's the same playbook for these influencers and the right-wing politicians. And it's so crazy. They do the exact same things. They say things that they know are not true because it gets a lot of clicks. It gets a lot of comments. That's how you stir up controversy. It's how you can stay in the news always. What's challenging, I think, is that people say, oh, Democrats are so stupid, like so bad at fighting fire with fire and creating a battle plan, basically. And it's like, I don't know exactly how you create a battle plan without stooping to their level in terms of this kind of vitriol that they are okay with posting on the internet.
And that they constantly get airtime as well because of what they say is so controversial.
That's all that Elon Musk wants. That's all that Donald Trump wants.
I know the media has a job, but I'm so tired of it being like so far right or so far left fighting against each other, when in reality, most of us are just kind of sitting somewhere in the middle, just going about our lives. But because the people who are most outspoken are either always the really far right or the really far left, it creates this level of like, as you say, fire on fire. And it's like, that's not what reality's like. No one actually, but then some people will see that on the media and be like, actually, I've had those thoughts before. And then you think it's okay to then be like vocally homophobic or anti-trans and you're just there like, how are we allowing this to happen and create such a weird situation within our own society? Like we're our own worst enemies when it comes to all of this stuff.
These influencers are anti-woman. it's not like this small subsect of the population that they're like, oh, I want to like hate gay people. They want to be offensive to 50% of the population. And they're completely okay with that. And there are men
Mate,
who support it.
one of the guys in the documentary goes, "Oh, I know what women want more than than they know." Like he's basically like, "I know more than they do about being a woman, so I should control them." And you're like, "Oh my God, like you are an idiot."
Jesus.
But
Oh my God.
yeah, I think moving on, because I don't want to give these wastes of space any more time or day.
We're
To be
doing it.
honest.
We're doing the exact thing that we're talking about. We're
I
giving them
know. Yeah,
airtime.
we're
I
speaking
know.
about it. We're giving them airtime.
Terrible.
Fuck them.
Terrible. Let's get into our first story. In the gay news. Our first story today, Mayor Mamdani appoints a trans woman to run the first ever New York City office of LGBTQIA plus affairs. And I read this headline and it just reminded me of our conversation last week of seeing the first out athlete on SNL. And it feels like week after week after week, we're continuing to have firsts, which I am looking at like the glass half full perspective of this. I think that's a really cool thing that we're continuing to have first, rather than like, why is this the first trans
Yeah.
person who's been the head of a New York City department? You know what? It's just a good thing that it's happening.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know too much about the American side of things, but in terms of the trans movement as such, I think it's just so important that there's visibility and conversations around it. I think a lot of the trans issues definitely come in the world of sport, for sure. But I think if you can start to have conversations around what it's like to be a trans man or woman, and start to normalize these conversations, and break the stigma a little bit around the conversations, and like trans people aren't afraid to have conversations around these subjects. And I don't think anyone should be. Like, I think that's the main thing. Whereas it feels like it's like, oh, we can't speak about that.
Yeah.
It happens all the time when people are like, oh, like when people say the word gay, it's always a little bit different to their usual tone of voice. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, what? How have we? Like, how have we just changed the tone?
Yeah.
What happened there? Yeah, I think it's visibility thing's the biggest part, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of trickle down too. I mean, of course, it makes sense that this would be starting in New York
In New
City.
York, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a good thing. I'm glad that it's happening. Again, I'm a little surprised that it hasn't happened before. Hopefully, it means that we can slowly normalize this across the country and it doesn't become this huge like news shitstorm that has happened with transports. Um,
mm.
so I was happy to see it.
It's a shame there is still such a divide though between state to state.
I mean, again, these politicians see it as a way to stay in the news, right? Kansas is on the map because of them being anti-trans at the moment. And I think that gives the politicians there a little bit more power when they're in the news. It definitely provides more exposure to those individual politicians. If they're up for re-election, people are seeing their names and, it's all part of the game. Ugh.
Yeah, agreed.
What's our second story today?
I kissed a boy and I kissed a girl. Did these come across to the US yet? Have you seen or heard of these? No.
No.
So it's basically it's Love Island, right? ITV's Love Island, so they couldn't use Love Island like gay edition.
Yeah.
So they just changed it to I Kissed a Boy. And I Kissed a Boy was first, and then I think I Kissed a Girl came out the year after. I know some of the people that were on some of the seasons, so it's strange that they axed it. There's definitely kind of been a little bit of backlash, or this has been picked up in the gay media, essentially. Like I saw it as it happened. It like flooded my feed of I Kissed a Boy has been cancelled. It was just, again, it's that visibility thing. Like, it's nice to have, like, Love Island's on its like 50th season now, and I don't actually know if anyone still watches it. I think it's still pretty big in the US, but
No, it's
they're
definitely
just
big here
different
still.
dynamics of different shows. So it says funding challenges was the reason, but it feels
You don't
a
get
little
the
bit.
impression that it was a political thing? Because I remember when Boots got canceled, we were talking about how a lot of people think that that was a
It came
political
from the
decision.
Pentagon.
Yeah, well, exactly. And that, the Trump administration was like threatening Netflix or Netflix was trying to comply.
I don't know. I think it probably didn't do as well in terms of like numbers as the other programs. I mean, I personally didn't even watch it. Oopsie.
How dare you? Oh my God.
I know. I'm sorry, but there was no hot daddies on there, so it didn't mean much to me. I was like, okay, fine.
Do you remember when the Katy Perry song "I Kissed a Girl" came out?
Yeah, fire.
It's a great song. And did you ever
Yeah, really
think
good
about
song.
that as like being like a controversial song?
I kissed a girl and I like to taste like her cherry
Cherry
chopsticks.
chapstick. I mean, it's
No, I
hot.
didn't.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a
And
great song.
she was
Did
so
you think it
forward
was
about it.
controversial?
I mean, no, I think that I felt a little gay singing it. Like it felt a
Yeah, you
little
could.
taboo,
Yeah,
but not really. But it was before its time.
but guy called Lars Fellows, one of the trans men that was on Kissed, said yet another LGBTQ plus show cancelled due to funding. ... So there's definitely an element of around LGBT shows, and obviously, hopefully, Heated Rivalry is going ahead for season 2. So it's hard to then be like, oh, it's cancelled because of this when another show is then continued. But I genuinely think because that show went into mainstream more than the others, so therefore people are profiting off it.
My girlfriends from high school are all reading the books right now, the Heated Rivalry books. I mean,
yeah, I need to read them.
straight women love it. Okay, should we go into the LGBTQ&A?
LGBTQ and anal.
It's good. It's really good. Okay, our first question is, what are your thoughts on thirst traps? Are influencers using them as a means to an end or purely for vanity? I definitely have an answer to this. Do you have an answer to this?
I might just go onto my Instagram and show the difference between a thirst trap engagement and a non-thirst trap engagement
Totally.
in terms of numbers. I
think
I mean, I've not got that many on my feed right now, so I have to scroll down.
it's funny that we were just talking about like the Andrew Tate thing, because there are a couple of different ways that people get engagement online. One of them is by lying. One of them is by saying controversial shit. Then there's people who post more like thoughty pictures on the internet to get more clicks and to, get attention, whatever, right? I think that they are slightly different, but maybe that's just us saying that. I don't know.
I don't know if you can get away with it. Okay, anyway, for reference, so these were posted 2 days apart, 3 days apart. This one, where I'm in my Speedos, got
Jake, when was that
18.7 thousand likes December when I was in Australia.
Oh yeah.
This one where I'm in looking cool and running got 2,000 likes. It got 96,000 views. How many views do you think? 644,000 views.
Yeah.
On the Speedo picture. So it's
so what does that mean,
times the number of views. It just means that people are horny as fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's how the society is ran, isn't it? Sex, money, and drugs is literally fucking everything. So if you didn't post it, you could still obviously grow and whatever else, but like a large portion of my following is, you look at the questions that we have on my thing. Oh my God, did you see the one today? It made me feel a little bit uneasy. Someone said,
I love these. They're pretty good.
Someone said oozer or shooter. And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, I'm assuming.
You don't have to explain. You don't have to explain. It's fine. I think people get it.
Anyone listening to this podcast knows, the fucking filthy bastards. That is crazy behavior.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's the most wild question I've ever had, I think. That's insane. Like, that is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go through I don't think we answered that question very well, but
I mean,
I think it's a bit of both. Vanity, and it helps growth, and growth equals engagement. Engagement equals availability to say to brands and people who work with you, look, this is how many people essentially view my things. We can work together, and then your price basically goes up. Is a business way of explaining that from like an influencer perspective. But it's also, it gives you an element of validation. It gives you,
yeah,
if you're feeling down, it's like a nice thing because people are essentially liking you for the way you look. So there is an element of vanity around it. So it's it's twofold. Well, multiple folds, I think. Anyway,
it definitely
okay.
is.
Questions. Sam, have any of the kinks you researched for the podcast awakened anything in you?
No. I don't
Bitch,
think
you literally
so.
said
Not yet.
you wanted to be a furry.
I did not say that. And actually, next episode, I've got some information. We had a listener who gave us some very, very good, helpful context for this. So,
When I come to New York, should
furry
we go to a
convention?
furry? Yeah, and like put
That'd be
outfits
fun.
on.
I said that I like the little puppy costumes. Furries are something else.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still.
The
But
puppy
you still
costumes
like
are
the
like
costume.
leather. The furry is like, it's fur.
Yeah, but I reckon you actually go out in them. In your little fat cash fag.
So, you know that I don't go out. So, I don't know like what you're talking about.
Yeah, Sam doesn't go out. But the dog version of Sam does.
Yeah, what's my alter ego's name?
I don't know if you could see my brain ticking, but I was trying to get one.
Fido.
Next question is, when are Paul and Jared joining the podcast? I feel like they would offer so much humor.
They would.
I don't think Paul's allowed on the podcast.
Why? Do you think Paul would do it?
I don't know. I think he would.
I could ask him. Do you want me to ask him?
You can text him, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we could do it when we're all together.
I mean, I think we should for sure.
We can pull
Because
them
you're
in
coming
for
end of April.
a segment. Yeah. Need to find a studio.
Okay. Yeah, or we just do it in my apartment.
Interesting.
Jake.
What?
I've got a question for you.
I'm just doing what other people were thinking. Okay.
Okay. Question for Jake.
How big is my dick?
Whose idea was it? Do you want to answer?
I already answered on my story.
What did you say?
Between 1 and 13
Inches?
centimeters.
No one knows centimeters, okay? Question for Jake. Whose idea was it for the power bottom / bulk pony t-shirt at HYROX? What did Hunter think of it?
I'm pretty sure it's his idea. We actually we were just all together, and I think we were like, what can we do that's pretty cool? And it just kind of evolved.
Okay, next question.
Do you have foreskin? Would you ever do OnlyFans? Favorite sex position? Okay.
You didn't answer that one on your story.
I didn't know. Look how many I had. So many.
Why not?
Thousands. I can't give everything away. They got to come to the podcast to find out.
We can't
this
give everything
information.
away is the thing. We can't give everything away.
Yeah.
We've got to save some
Ask
stuff
Paul.
for future podcasts. When Paul's on the podcast, I'll ask him.
I like every position.
Yeah, me too. No, that's not true.
Very.
Really.
What don't you like? When I'm on top and she's on the bottom. You love being eaten out. That's not really a question. It's fucking obvious. Duh.
People are really aggressive in your questions.
People, yeah, they're very upfront. I think I've allowed them. Are there topics that still want to explore on podcast? New listener, Chastity yet for Kink of the Week. Sam didn't want to do Kink of the Week this year, but it just happened. We've done it. We're talking about Chastity. Chastity, bitch. Is that not really painful?
It actually comes up in our like gay group chat quite a bit. And I don't know why.
Have you ever done it? Maybe we should do it for a week and then feedback.
You're talking about like a cock cage, basically, right?
Yeah, that's what it is, right? I mean, there's probably way more to it.
It comes up because people will say, I'm going out, but I'm caged. And then I'm kind of like,
Oh.
what? And
What?
again,
I can talk about bitch.
I think this is just a great example of like really challenging to kind of like wrap your mind around what people do when you don't have all the facts, because it doesn't make sense to me why I would ever want to be caged. And it seems like it would hurt. If you're caged, does that mean that you simply are unable to get hard? Or
I
do
guess
you
it
like
must
get
do because
hard,
it just
but it
hurts
just like
so much.
hurts?
No, I think it hurts and then you lose it essentially because it hurts. Like it would just like go away.
I'm not interested in that. Nope.
No, I love getting a boner and tucking it up in my waistband.
Yeah, totally. So like why would I want to prohibit that?
Yeah, I want to be free. Cause I'm
Yeah.
free to do what I want any old time.
One person asked about our thoughts on mushrooms because we were talking about drugs. They said that they're redeemable because they're therapeutic and not necessarily addictive. So what are your thoughts on that? Would you do mushrooms?
Yes. I think if I was to do it, and I've heard it's like, I don't know what they would call them, but like you almost do it with like an expert and you would have like
A
it's
shaman.
like a shaman. That's the one. I knew it. I had it in my brain. It was right there. I just didn't want to say it because I was embarrassed. Yeah, a shaman. I think I would do that and it would be like, I think I would enjoy that experience under controlled environmental conditions. But I wouldn't want to like take a really big one and then think I was like a banana and then try and pee on myself and be like hallucinating.
Like ayahuasca is technically mushrooms, right? People do ayahuasca. And I think that I would do
Ayahuasca.
it.
Maybe we should do an episode in a puppy outfit on mushrooms with Paul and Jared.
With you in a cock cage. Do you know if mushrooms are like a banned substance? Like technically, is like weed a banned substance for you? Or are you allowed?
I would probably guess so. I just avoid anything, to be honest. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I assume you would be okay. Like it's not. I guess there's so many different variants, isn't there? You'd have to check. Like it's so easy to check though, because ChatGPT can just read the whole of the WADA, which is like the World Anti-Drug Association. It can just so
Yeah.
you just like even when I take like antibiotics or like I had like an iron supplement type thing. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like you have to think about everything you take, which is crazy. So you just type it in and it just like does it for you.
You know the peptide craze right now? Have you been seeing that in the UK as well?
Yeah, we don't. I mean, you hear about it and you see it. I first kind of. It's very American, isn't it? I think, and Australian.
Mm. Yeah.
So I've never been exposed to it, but I've always gone to the gym very solo. Like I don't really go to like bodybuilding type gyms where it's kind of community based. I don't really go to like pure gyms here where it's kind of just like, I guess you get access to people who would probably try and sell you those things.
Right.
So surprisingly, no. You hear about it, and like within our sport now, like everyone's almost accusing everyone of being on stuff. Like anyone who's doing
Yeah.
well, you're like,
Totally.
fuck them, they're taking drugs.
Yeah. Testosterone, steroids,
Yeah.
peptides.
So I think there's like I mean, we're all guilty of it in terms of like being like, oh, we think they might be on something, but I think
Totally.
you just have to stay in your lane almost. But I would say more so, probably less the elite in terms of HYROX, but more so like the recreational guys that kind of come and do it are probably more likely to be on peptides or testosterone or some form of performance enhancing. But to be honest, if I wasn't competing and I had a bit more research around around the peptides and I was a bit older, I think I would probably do it just because your
I don't
reduction
know.
in testosterone and things anyway. So I think I would, if
Yeah,
I was
I
to do it,
mean,
I would definitely have a lot of research and understanding around it.
that's the
But
thing, is that I think that, like, people hear these things on the internet and they're like, "Oh, Jake would do it. I should do it." As opposed to your actual mindset about it, which is I would talk to my doctor about it. I would get my T checked. I would decide if I want to be on testosterone for the rest of my life because that's going to be the thing. You're going to stop naturally producing it. You know, do you know Amanda Barnhart? She's a CrossFit athlete.
yes,
I have been a fan of her for like 10 years. And
but all of
she stopped.
all of those guys in the CrossFit space must be on stuff.
No,
Like
I
they're
mean, that's like a different conversation. But like she's not competing anymore. And now she's doing this like fitness program for moms. And she's like hard selling the peptides. And she's using these progress pictures that are fucking bullshit. You're an elite athlete and you're using
should
these
we tag
progress
her?
pictures
Should
of
we tag her?
yourself that are like, I
Let's call her
have.
out. Let's
I
call her out.
don't
You
do
fucking bitch.
discourse on social media, but I do with her because I'm like, you are such a role model and you're being so manipulative with this, with peptides and with these progress pictures. And it's such bullshit. I despise it. Seeing it, especially from like elite athletes who then are like, now I'm going to use my following and like manipulate people.
Yeah. I guess the brand deals have probably dried up, so she got to do something.
I guess so, but you put in so much work competing, and I don't know how you can really live with yourself scamming people after that. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. Like, you know how hard this is, and you also know that this is a really hard thing for people to figure out, and you're going to scam people of that? Ugh,
Bad look. Bad
yuck.
look.
Okay, Jake, what do we got going
Are
on
we
this week? Let's
done?
wap it up.
Are we done?
We're
No.
wrapping it up.
I'm heartbroken. I got a new car coming today, anytime soon, which
Yeah,
is
I'm glad
fun.
you didn't get that fucking Ford.
Wow. I love that truck. That truck loved me. I nearly got it. It just sold out.
The idea of someone from the UK getting an American car like a Ford is kind of crazy to me. You have so many options on that side of the pond.
Mm, I don't know. But the only thing is that car is massive, so that would just not be a vibe because parking
Yeah.
and just driving around. But yes, I'm getting a car today, and then I'm deciding whether I want to buy said car, and then I will proceed with said car. And then I am in London this weekend for a competition, which is on YouTube, so you can watch it 9 p.m. UK time, which means 6, 5, 6 p.m.,
It's like
4 p.m.,
5.
4
I think
p.m.,
it's 5.
4 p.m., 4 p.m.
I know, but we
Um,
just ran into this issue. I think that because of daylight saving, it's actually 5.
oh shit, sorry, but
No, I mean, I don't know for sure. We'll figure
you
it
can
out.
watch it. You can watch it on YouTube. You say we ran into this issue. That was definitely a you thing.
It was both our producer and I ran into this issue, and then you were late. So
That is true, but I was still right. I might have been late, but I was technically right. And then it's mine and Paul's 6th year anniversary. So
How
we're going
fun.
to a place called Outbuildings. I think I don't know what the actual name is, but it's like a cute little getaway place. That will be lovely.
Jared and I are seeing a show tonight. We're seeing a show on Saturday.
What show?
I can't tell you because Jared's listening and he doesn't know the show. The one we're
Whisper
seeing
it,
on Saturday.
whisper it, whisper it, whisper it, whisper it. Just ASMR it.
We're seeing Heathers. Did you hear it?
I don't know what that is.
It's a show off Broadway.
I hope you have a
You can
lovely
speak. He
time.
can't hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to be part of the gang though.
Okay. And then on Saturday, we're seeing Capote with Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
You should go and watch Two Strangers. Have you seen that yet?
No, what is that?
It's called Two Strangers Carrying a Cake Across New York.
Oh, the Broadway show.
New York!
Did you see it?
Oh, I loved it. It's got Sam Tutty in it, who was Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Evan Hansen.
Yeah, I've heard it's really, really sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. It's small, intimate. I liked it. I like those types
Cool.
of plays where it's kind of like, I feel like I'm the only one watching. That's fun. Have a
Yeah.
lovely week.
Well, you as well. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave us a review.
Yeah, keep engaging with us. We enjoy it.
Yeah. Send us your messages for sure. And we'll see you back next time.
We should have a sign-off thing.
What's the sign off?
Goodbye, fags.
Bye, bitch. That's usually what it is. So.